Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Brendan and this is Scared to Death for Fun. I don't know what that voice is, but it got me in the mood. It got me into good vibes, okay? It's not lost on me, okay, you bitches, that I've been fairly negative on a lot of the movies I've talked about, okay? So today's gonna be very positive. I'm talking about a movie I love, a movie that is so good to me. So buckle up. I know you saw the video. My name is Brendan. This is Scared to Death for Fun. And today is my review or thoughts on Oculus. Oculus is a 2013 horror mystery movie. Oculus currently has 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, 61% on Metacritic, and 81% of Google users like this movie. I usually don't like movies on Google, but I have apparently liked this movie on Google because I literally love it so much. The synopsis is on Google, which if you watched my Village podcast episode, the synopsis I feel like gave away the twist in that. So the Google synopsises are not always truth and not always God's gospel, God's word. What's that saying? Like, the gospel truth? I don't know. Haunted by the violent demise of their parents 10 years earlier, adult siblings Kylie, Carrie Gillian, and Tim, Brenton Thwaites, I hope I'm saying your name right, are now struggling to rebuild their relationship. Kaylee suspects that their antique mirror, known as the Lasser glass, is behind the tragedy. The seemingly harmless reflections contain a malevolent, supernatural force that inflicts the minds of anyone who gazes into it. As Kaylee gets closer to the truth, the siblings become caught in the mirror's evil spell. That's legit. That's a very bare bones aspect of the movie, but like I was saying earlier, this film is rated R. I know, like, a concept of a haunted mirror, especially that Blumhouse is part of the production of this movie, and I think Blumhouse's reputation has declined a bit, but this is 2013 Blumhouse. This film is so much more intense and deep and adult themed and adult written than a PG-13 horror movie. So I understand the R rating. I picked this movie up. I actually don't know where I saw this movie. So I rewatched this movie yesterday, and I have the DVD, but I opened the DVD yesterday. So I clearly did not watch the DVD initially. It may have been on a streaming service back in the day. I remember watching it in like 2018, and I was like, oh, this movie is good. And then I found the DVD, I think, at Walmart, and I have now recently opened that DVD. I really enjoyed the film back when I watched it before, and I was definitely due for a rewatch. I definitely remember the gist of everything. I remember the big ending. The ending has an insane twist. But I was wondering to see if it would hold up, and it absolutely did. Okay, this movie is still just as good as I remember it, if not better. I will say it's not a perfect movie. I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. The beginning is a bit slow, and it's a little almost corny to me. I don't know how to describe it. It opens with the two siblings in present day, and it's kind of slow for them to like get to the mirror, and then we get a lot of exposition of just the mirror. But once the two siblings are in the house with the mirror, this shit gets going, okay? When I tell you it is like a haunted house on crack, it's so crazy to me. As someone who enjoys writing and has a ton of stories and ideas in my mind, I just love that this movie is so chaotic. When I was rewatching it this past time, I was thinking, does this screenplay look like? Okay, basically throughout the film, I don't want to spoil too much because this movie is so much better if you do not know what's coming. Okay, it is such a better viewing experience if you go in blind. I would honestly say don't even watch the trailer. Some, not all, some gags are given away in the trailer, however, whatever. This film tells the story of this family and their trauma, and it flashes back to the past when they were kids, the brother and sister, and present day when they're older in their 20s. And At first, you're kind of getting the flashbacks to get exposition, and a lot of the story is just like dealing with trauma. So this is like as much of a spoiler I'm going to go into. I feel like I keep saying I'm not going to spoil it, but I feel like I keep getting too excited talking about this movie. I feel like this film is split up into like 2 halves, maybe 3 acts like a normal film I feel like is split up into. Once the siblings are together with the mirror, it's kind of a trauma session, trauma off, where the son was put in a mental institution because he killed the father out of retaliation and like self-defense. But he was put away for that. And he basically has come to terms with the fact that the parents, their mother and father, were crazy, and it was nothing supernatural. It was just the parents going crazy. The sister, however, just went into foster care and now has a boyfriend, and she does not forget that the mirror possessed the family, the parents, and the mirror was the cause of the evil. The middle of the story is trying to prove the other one wrong almost, and that incorporates the flashbacks from like the brother's perspective and the sister's perspective. The brother's perspective is that it was more human rooted, like the father was cheating and there was another woman, and that was why the mother started to go crazy and was feeling self-conscious about herself, where the sister was seeing more of the mirror's the mirror's part in everything. She would see the reflection of the other woman in the mirror, and that the dad would become more angry, and they locked the dog in the room with the mirror, and then the dog didn't return, and she was like, no one got into that room. So it's kind of a push and pull between the two of them, trying to justify their beliefs and justify the trauma, basically, that they both experienced from this experience in the past. When I tell you, this film is so crazy, it's such a mind fuck that I don't have the vernacular to even explain the film properly, because it's so crazy. Like I said, it starts off kind of just showing flashbacks, but then the two like timelines almost merge together. There's scenes where we're seeing the older siblings, like them as 20-year-olds, but then their kid selves are also running up the stairs and are like interacting with them almost. This film, by the way, is directed by Mike Flanagan, which if you don't know who Mike Flanagan is, baby, you definitely do, okay? This was one of his first major features, I believe. Another notable feature of his is Ouija Origins of Evil. Love that movie as well. If you saw the original Ouija, okay, I said this in one of my podcast episodes. I haven't even seen the original Ouija. I know it had horrid reviews. People said it was awful. But I have Ouija Origins of Evil on DVD. That movie was so good. I'm not even into like possession movies. That's not really my vibe. But Ouija Origins of Evil is so good. Mike Flanagan knows how to get down. And the reason why I say you know him, he is the director, creator, writer of A Haunting on Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, The Fall of the House of Usher, all of those Netflix horror shows. That is Mike Flanagan. He is just... I haven't seen any of those Netflix shows, by the way. I don't even know if I would. TV shows are not usually my judge, especially like horror TV shows. I enjoy a reality competition show. As you can see, I have a Survivor shirt. But Mike Flanagan's movies, they are so good. I think he also did Gerald's Game, and he has another Stephen King adaptation coming out. But when I say he put his foot into Oculus, babe, I feel like when I get into horror movies, I like to share why I feel like they got this rating. The MPAA has their own reasons behind the ratings. So Oculus being rated R, I can tell you it's not for the gore. It's not for gore or even anybody being like lifted up and possessed. There is creepy imagery and there is slight gore in this film. The gore in this movie is so realistic. I'm sure if you have seen the trailer, there's an infamous scene with a light bulb. Enough said if you've seen that. That moment still makes my spine tingle. There's another moment with a paper clip or a staple puller. I forgot that scene happened. So, I don't know how to describe it. Because I feel like when I think of gore, I think of like intestines, like Saw. Like Saw in my head is gore. And it's not to that level at all. It's just very realistic, practical effects. But it's so well done. I think almost all of the moments of gore make me like recoil. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's so, I could see everything happening with the light bulb, with the staple puller, with there's other things with plates and pots, whatever. It's just so good. The reason I feel like it did get the R rating is its subject matter and the plot itself. I watched this when I was 18. I feel like I was barely understanding what was going on. And I'm not to say, like, you can't understand this if you're a teenager. You can't understand this if you're a child. It's not like it's anything, like, such upper echelon, so smart. It's so smart and inquisitive, because it's not, okay? I'm not here to say that. But there is, like, so much happening with jumping between timelines, and the mirror in the film alters your reality. Literally, it alters what you see and everything going on. So it's such a mind fuck that when I was younger, I feel like I wouldn't have even been able to like understand or know what's going on. Even my rewatch of it, I forgot things that happened because so much is packed into this movie. Everybody does a phenomenal job acting. The older siblings, the younger siblings, like them older and younger, both of the parents. It's just so good. And the last semi-spoiler, this is the only thing I will add. It does not end happily. I'm not opposed to horror movies ending on positive notes, ending when evil is defeated. But spoiler alert, the evil is not fully defeated in this film. Okay, they have ways that they are going to try and defeat this evil. But it is not fully gone. And I love that. I love just a realistic, like, yeah, bitch, that mirror fucked us up. If you haven't seen Oculus, please do yourself a favor. Don't even watch a trailer. Don't even watch a trailer. Just go and watch it. It is currently streaming for free, at least in the US, on Plex. I don't even know what Plex is. If you go to Google, just search up Oculus movie. You can't just look up Oculus because the VR headset. They have a where to watch, which I'm sure that you guys know this by now, but the first option is free and it's called Plex, and I literally just clicked it and it took me right to the website and it started the movie. So definitely, I wouldn't even watch the trailer. I gave you enough of the description, the Google gives you enough of the description, and I would watch this movie. I love this movie, and it's definitely one of, if not, I don't know if it's my favorite, it might be my favorite horror film, I don't know. I cannot recommend this enough. Please, please, please go and watch it. In my opinion, it'll be worth your time. It's worth more than 75% on Rotten Tomatoes, in my opinion. If you want a unique horror film, not just a slasher and basic, the bad guys killing everybody, just hacking, stab, 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 I definitely recommend Oculus if you have not seen it already. I love this movie. Kudos to Mike Flanagan. Please, Mike Flanagan. Hey, Mike Flanagan. Hey. I'll make a movie with you. I'll write the screenplay. Give me a chance. So good. Love Oculus. Go watch it. Now, bitch. Now.